Hello everyone, welcome to my latest MyTeam video where we're starting off with a pursuit event around the Sochi circuit, one of the invitational events in Renault R26, the car that Fernando Alonso used to win his second and final World Championship, just pipping Michael Schumacher to the title. Recently broke around this track in the MyTeam series, of course, finishing 9th, which was a lot better than how we did last time around in Japan, where we only managed to finish in 16th place in the end. A very disappointing race, so no points there. Hopefully this event might help to earn us a bit of extra cash so we can improve a few departments in the team. Better exit out of there, 2 corners to go, and we've just about won this invitational event, so that'll be a nice little cash bonus and some extra acclaim for the team as well. But now let's head to America. Let's head for the Austin circuit of the Americas, American Grand Prix. Can we recover from last time out in Japan and score some decent points? Right, I've had my fun in the Renault at Russia. Now it's time for the serious stuff. Qualifying for the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of Americas in Austin. A circuit which on previous F1 games I haven't done too many laps about, to be honest. Normally I don't get this far in the single player mode, and I don't really do too much online racing, so I might have spoken over this track quite a lot, not driven around it, and I found it very challenging indeed, especially this first sector of the lap, just keeping the rhythm up as much as possible. Hopefully though we'll get a better qualifying than we did at Suzuka, where we did qualify, I think, in the place we are now, 19th position. Just gain a bit of time on the brakes there into that corner, move ourselves up a few places. This is going to be the main overtaking opportunity in the race, down this long straight when you've got the DRS open and it leads into a heavy braking zone at the bottom of the hill, which I've just about managed to get the car stopped in time. And it's a very tricky and twisty end to the lap. Again, all about picking the right line, all about having the right rhythm in your car, as I've not really challenged the apex at all there on the exit. Then you've got these flat right-handers through here. Need to be careful that you don't run too wide, because it's very easy to lose the car. Hopping over the curb there to the penultimate corner, round the final corner, took a few stabs to get into the apex. DRS open across the line. It's an improvement from last time. We're in 15th position. Not too bad that, not too bad I don't think.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Bottas, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
I'm hoping it will be a fantastic race. You can see Nick in 17th. The Alfa Romeos do seem to have dropped back all of a sudden, and he wasn't too far off Grosjean. This midfield battle's looking pretty close as well. I'm not too far behind Norris. Ricciardo, my rival, is starting 10th, but he will be on older tyres. Bottas on pole position as he looks to secure the World Championship. Looks like it's shaping up to be a pretty decent race, and hopefully we'll be able to get back into the points once again.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Sergio Perez, and Stroll, Albon, Kvyat, Ricciardo, and Carlos Sainz. Bottas, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Ocon, Pierre Gasly, and the owner driver. Grosjean, De Vries, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Kevin Magnussen. Russell, Raikkonen, Latifi, and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Here we go then, time for the race. We have gained 1 position thanks to Lando Norris's grid penalty, so that puts us 14th on the grid. See what we can do from there. Going to take a bit of a risk. I'm going for a one-stop strategy, and the medium tyres are going to be pretty close to their end of the life. if I'm being honest. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Hopefully it will work out. The game suggests it is the quickest way, and I did ignore it in Japan, and then it turned out to go horribly wrong. So we'll see how this goes. Gonna have to be a bit careful in the early laps that I don't cook up the tyres too much. If this works out though, can easily get some decent points. American Grand Prix then is underway. Can we try and get down the inside of a few cars into turn 1 here, a bit like Ocon did just ahead. We're fighting side by side with Daniel Ricciardo, who's still sort of there. I've got Bottas on my inside as well in the Mercedes. Somehow, despite him being on faster tyres at the moment, I'm able to just hold off for now. I don't want to be caught battling too much at this stage on this strategy, because that's just going to wear my tyres out more and more. But I need to pick my battles wisely. Need to ensure I just don't get dropped as well by the top 10 at the moment. As Bottas, for a second, it looked as though he was going for the outside there into that corner, and I'm not sure that would have worked out for Valtteri.
Let's capitalise on that first lap.
Not had the worst start to the race, so 3 places gained. I have a feeling that's very quickly going to become 2. As you can see there, Bottas, much faster car. No real point fighting that at this point in the race. Just stay behind him. Let's see if he can pick off a few of these guys up ahead as well. He started, well, he qualified on pole position at least, but grid penalties dropped him down to 11, which is where he is now. Carlos Sainz looking very feisty behind me at this moment in time. Through this corner, very difficult to go side by side. If you end up running wide, you can really lose a chunk of time. So not a bad first lap. Couple of places gained. These mediums definitely don't have the grip of those around me on the softs. Hopefully they've got the durability to get me as far as I want to go, because I've got another 16 laps to do on these tyres. Carlos Sainz tried sending one
focus. We need to stay on form.
down the inside, and he's got DRS, and now Pierre Gasly has got the DRS as well, so he's trying to get down the inside on this third lap. The first lap with the DRS, I had a feeling it could leave me a bit of a sitting duck, and I managed to just about stay ahead of Pierre, but all this battling is just costing me heaps of time to those ahead. You can see Carlos already nearly a full second ahead. Let's try and get within that 1 second mark for the DRS zone on the pit straight, so at least I've got maybe something to fight back with into turn 1. That's another place lost though. We are down into 13th position. This could be a bit of a struggle on these tyres. Don't think it really matters what I try at this point. There we go, Gasly gets ahead of me. That's another place lost, down into 14th, but again, just try and somehow stay in touch with him to help me avoid dropping even further down the field in these early stages. We're just stuck in this DRS train again, but this is definitely the closest I have been to Gasly. Do I dare go late enough on the brakes to try and get down the inside of the Frenchman? He's still there on the exit of the corner, so all the way around the outside at the next part we go. Nature of this track means you can send another one down the inside there. I just clobber the curb out. Yes, in real life that wouldn't be a fair pass, but you know, there's a reason why I play games and I don't race real cars. I'm up to 13th, trying to use the best of these medium tyres. They're not holding up too bad at the moment in time, as it seems like the train is getting a bit shorter. A few drivers diving into the pits, but not a bad lap that time around. We're now up into the top 10. We're going to be pretty close to Lewis Hamilton as he comes out of the pits. Him and Sainz almost coming together.
The car ahead has come in and fitted the soft tyre.
I think it's going to be crucial that I stay within a second of Sainz again, just to help me defend from Pierre. Carlos came into the pits, but at least before he did that, he did give me DRS, as I didn't really get the best run through that corner. We're up into 4th position. Hamilton has pitted up ahead. 2 racing points that are currently 1-2 haven't pitted. and Gasly seems determined to try and work his way past me. Hopefully Verstappen starts putting him under a bit of pressure so I can just race freely on these mediums until my pit stop, which is planned to be at the end of lap 17. And already Gasly's looking pretty feisty behind me. I think I'm going to have a tough job to defend down this straight. Going to have to give it everything. Electrical energy on, fuel on. It's not going to make a difference in the end. Gasly retakes 4. I think it won't be long before Verstappen follows him through. And I might as well just let it happen into the braking zone for this corner. He's much faster, no point holding him up.
Okay, keep on
there we are.
He might make a mistake.
Halfway through the race then, in 5th position at the moment, Sebastian Vettel just working his way past me on that last lap. 6.5 seconds behind me is Daniel Kvyat. I'm fairly sure he's 2-stopping. I'm fairly sure a lot of this field are 2-stopping. So I just need to be patient really. Where we are now, it's doubtful we'll finish there at the end of the race, but it's very possible indeed. It just depends how well I can keep these tyres lasting for the final 3 laps on these, and then how quick can I be on these softs, because Kvyat, Albon, and I think a few others might have to be on the mediums. Could be a very decent points haul after the disappointment of Suzuka this. Need to keep my concentration up, still a long way to go. Here we go then, into the pits. Quite a few cars coming in as well on this lap, so we're doing our first stop at the same time as Verstappen, Vettel, Kvyat are doing their second stop. We've done incredibly well, I think, to get the tyres lasting in that stint. Pretty good stop from the boys. Should come out in an okay position then. We're ahead of Ricciardo, our rival. That is always
see these tyres through to the end now.
As I've taken it a bit too cautious there into turn 1. Not to matter though. In 12th place, plenty of free air to use these fresh soft tyres. So Vettel made a slight mistake. That allowed me through. Bad news for me, it also allowed Alex Albon through, who seems to be flying at this moment in time on those mediums. So I think I need to watch out for him, maybe more than I need to watch out for a place to overtake Gasly. Only 4.5 laps to go, and I'm going to have to go uber defensive, I feel, down this straight. Let's use the extra fuel that I've got, although it does look as though Albon is a bit too far behind. So maybe we can save that fuel when we want to go for an attack on Gasly, and maybe even Lance Stroll, who is in 5th place. How high up can we get? Hopefully the top 5 finish is on here.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Got to take every opportunity that I've got. That's another position gained. Albon again following me through. I seem to be doing all the hard work for him here. That's me up to 6th. The next position should be a bit easier because Stroll doesn't have DRS, as Gasly has actually managed to get back ahead of Albon. Only 3 laps to go. Have I got enough life in these medium tyres to get myself up ahead of Stroll and maybe, just maybe, catch up to Perez? You can see him up ahead. We're starting to close that gap as well. Let's use a bit of DRS.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining
to ensure I am right on the back of Lance Stroll here. Get this final corner right onto the straight. These rear tyres have definitely seen better days here. Got a bit of extra fuel that I'm going to try and use as well at the moment to close my way up to Lance Stroll, and then it's going to be a late move on the brakes. Position gained. He's not able to get the cutback. We're up into 5th. Late move down the inside. Is Perez able to get the cutback? No, he's not. So that is 4th position for us. This has been a fantastic race so far. Now it's all about keeping it clean as we come on to lap 28 out of 28. Final lap of the race. Can we get, amazingly, our 2nd best finish of the season?
Final lap of the race.
use a bit of that spare fuel that I've still got at the moment. Didn't start with too much extra fuel in this race. Use a bit of that spare just to give me a bit of an advantage in a straight line to try and defend from Perez. He's in my dirty air for this part of the track, and he looked as though he was going to send one down the inside there through this S section. That is not advised, to say the least, because that would have caused us both all sorts of trouble. Kick the ERS on coming out of that corner. AI always seems to be much better through there than me. Unleash everything down the straight here, because he's going to have the DRS, of course, to try and slowly close up the gap. And you know what? I don't think he'll be able to do it into the braking zone. So that is really the main overtaking opportunity on this lap for Perez to fight back.
12.3 seconds.
And now that I've kept it clean through there, you'd imagine, as long as I don't do anything stupid round this fast corner and through the final two corners, that we are going to have a very handy finish. It's amazing. Suzuka absolutely nowhere. And here, we've got our second best finish of the season, coming across the line in fourth.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Doesn't matter what I do, I always seem to be driver of the day on the alternate strategies. They are so powerful on this game.
That's it then for another magnificent United States Grand Prix. And they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today.
Hamilton taking the win, and I think that means the championship
Anthony
will
Davidson,
still be
a
alive.
resounding victory today.
Though I'd
What set them
imagine
apart from the
Bottas
rest?
is going to win it in the
Well, I
next three
honestly feel
races
it's
at
down
some
to the
point.
driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the
There we go,
drivers
Hamilton
making
with
their
the
way to
victory.
podium.
Verstappen
Once again, it's the
second,
Silver Arrows who
Charles
take top
Leclerc
spot.
took
A
third.
well-earned victory for Mercedes.
And we came home in fourth with a very daring move, 1.5 laps to go, to get myself past Sergio Perez. And like I said, apart from Singapore, that is our best result of the
Let's
season.
have a look then at the drivers' standings. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I'm going to give it to the owner-driver today. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Constructors' Championship, we've pulled away from McLaren. Racing Point are catching up to Renault as well. Drivers consolidating our 7th place, 19 points ahead of Ocon with 3 races to go. As long as we pick up the odd point or two in the final few races, I think we should be safe now in 7th, getting ahead of Albon. Might need a bit of luck and a bit of good strategy like today. You can see there, 4th position, very impressed indeed with that. Nick finishing in 15th, which I think is his best result of the season. He wasn't too far behind Ricciardo, who is of course the rival I'm meaning to beat, and Bottas only 13th, really struggling on the 2-stop strategy. You can see from that, from my own performance, from some of the other drivers, the 1-stop just works better around here when you're an AI car. At least they do seem to struggle overtaking people. I'm sure Claire has now got some wonderful questions for me to answer.
Let's have your thoughts. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? You're breaking all expectations. What's your...
The car has
How do you
improved,
feel about
definitely.
this team's performance this season?
The car's improved. I think we're now the 8th
You
best
had a bit of
car.
contact today. Who was at fault there?
And a bit of
Appreciate your
contact
time.
always happens at turn 1, I think, on this track. There wasn't anything too major. We didn't get any damage from it. I was really impressed with how well we managed to make the tyres last, especially in that first stint. They were about 60 65%, I think, somewhere in that 60-65% when I pitted. The rivalry between me and Ricardo is a dead heat at the moment, and I think there's only 2 races remaining in that. That's going to be pretty interesting indeed to see. I've gone up a driver acclaim level. The team just has gone up to level 14 as well, so it won't be too long before we can get some more sponsors in. And of course, we made all our sponsor bonuses that weekend. That gives it a nice boost in the cash department. Tiny bit of damage on both of our cars, nothing too much to worry about though. There you can see 4 million. That's going to come good, seeing as Nick's contract up for renewal at the end of the season, as is our engine contract. Let's not forget, will we stay with Honda, or might I try going to a better engine, maybe even Mercedes, if I can afford it, just to see if that can boost us up the grid a bit more. We're not too far off the front of the midfield personally with myself. Would be nice to get Nick up there, and it does seem as though he is improving at least. That is pretty much it then for this video. We had the invitational event at the start.
Right now. I think we've got room for some more investment.
And that was a pretty nice way to start it, and we had a fantastic American Grand Prix. 4th position, our 2nd best finish of the season. We haven't got much time before the Mexican Grand Prix as well, so let's see how we do there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you joined. If you enjoyed, make sure to check out the rest of my social media below. I'll see you guys soon.